Wait, can I easily make a hole the same way? Selecting this and like this and bridge. Hi guys, my name is Barodante and welcome back to Neonate's horror game characters creation process. So yeah, we're finally getting back to the modeling of our basic enemies of my future horror game. After a big break, I want to take it easy, let's go with this simpler dude. I actually started detailing him quite a lot during the 3D sketch part, but of course we're gonna need to step it up quite a notch. My god, I can't stand the look of 3D cursor. Like, I recently started finding it actually useful when you wanna define the pivot point to rotate a certain part of a thing or whatever, when you're modeling, or not necessarily, but generally when positioning things, to quickly orient the pivot point. 3D cursor is actually a great tool for that. It's like a temporary empty or whatever that would let you do something like that. But I just hate it when it's just there all the time. It's so terrible, I can't. Okay, so we are all in one object right now. I remember it wasn't exactly great to work with. Oh, I think it's because right now we're not in the topo mode, and that means we have like separate face sets. Yeah, so the egg yolk is a separate face set. That's the only reason why I can do that. Automatically, Blender in sculpting doesn't just look at the loose parts, like just because this is a separate piece of polygons, not connected at all to this shape. That's not enough for it to understand that it can separate it. While Dentopo won't blend them together or anything, it's not like a voxel remesh, it will remove vertex colors. Well, we don't have them for now, that's the main reason why. UVs obviously will be ruined, and other custom data. So one of them is face sets. When we do this and we start working with generating new topology, if we look at the face sets, nothing's gonna show up because it's all a single face set now. And now if I hit H or Shift H, nothing's gonna happen because this is the only face set in the whole object. Not great. So that is a number one reason why we go ahead and separate by loose pots. Okay, so I think I want to make the egg yolk a bit like sit a bit better inside of this nest, so I'll make it a bit wider and whatever. I think we can take advantage of symmetry right now as well, even though nothing is actually symmetrical anymore, but for these big grab brush strokes, it'll work just fine. Oh yeah, I recently saw like some kind of quick video about the whole thing on rotation, so I still hate the 3D cursor and everything, so I'm looking for anything that would replace it. So right now, if I'm applying like this rotate or scale modifier in sculpting, it will all be working from the point of the origin. Or actually it's working from the 3D cursor right now, but like default, right? That would go from the origin, which is in the same place right now. So scale, yeah, as well. And so what you can actually do is you can go into object mode real quick and whatever, with your main select tool in here, there's this special set of checkboxes, and one of them is affect only origins, which means you can go ahead and relocate literally just the origin to any vertex of this object or another object if you need to rotate specifically around this vertex right here. So now we go back to the sculpt mode, use rotation. Oh, it's a different object right now. But you get the point, it works. And of course, after that, you can go ahead and apply all transforms again, and the origin goes back to 0, in case that works for you, of course. Oh yeah, I can rotate the origin as well. That's very useful, pretty snappy, and like, if I know I can quickly and all the time do it, I'll probably do it more, and it will make me so much more powerful. So yeah, this elastic mode for scaling is also really cool. So yeah, I of course want to have these nice like imprints on the egg yolk from these streaks of egg white, but I feel like we should start with actually changing the shapes, like where we want these streaks to show up, because there's supposed to be more of them. And yeah, specifically with this guy, it would be really cool to have like a lot of them, because there's these two things, and I really feel like connecting them together sometimes. That would be awesome. Like doing this whole thing. Oh, it would be so much faster in VR. But I feel like the level of detail is already precise and tedious, so it's best to go flat at this point. And so to quickly achieve the actual connection, because Snake Hook just doesn't do it. It doesn't connect two separate surfaces at all. The only way to do it is to just add an object. So yeah, do something like this. Like a loser in flat mode. I don't care about it being perfect or anything. So yeah, something like this. And then we select both of them. Do I like join? Oh man, it's gonna be so much pain because now I need to actually remesh everything. And there is no way to like remesh the clean way. It's gonna be like really rebuilding everything. Like really, that's a lot slower than I thought it would be, like even if you make an effort. Like I'm losing a lot of stuff right now. No, wait, there's a bit less artsy, but probably much simpler way of doing it, which is you simply go into edit mode. There's edit mode because this is Blender, not just some sculpting app. Like I keep having to remind that to myself. Select a spot, select another spot. So, can I just bridge? I can. Is it already automatically deleting all the topology underneath? Right? It's a hole. So it's a proper single surface object. Cool. So I didn't even have to delete those polygons. I just selected one spot, selected another spot, and hit Shift B. I'm not sure if that's a standard shortcut, but yeah, I didn't know it was that flexible. You don't have to have like actual holes. It can be polygons. They can be of any complexity and difference in the amount of polygons or anything. And you just connect the two things just like that. This is perfect for sculpting. Definitely not as natural and snappy as it is in VR when you just have a capsule and put it wherever you want, hit one button and it's just blended into the thing. But kind of like the next best thing, right? And yeah, of course we can turn on the din topo and add more topology onto this thing now. Smooth it out. Also, this is an insanely thick, thick connection. That's the problem. Whenever I start thinking about technical issues, I totally forget what the hell I'm doing. So how do I need shrink or something? Again, easier to just select the thing in edit mode, transparency on. So we select, we use like soft selection, I guess, and we hit Alt S, I believe. That's how you start scaling from the normal of each polygon, so deflating the shape. And let's probably show a little bit of weight on this thing, so like from the front, just like that. Not too much because I will be bending these legs and arms, and in the real-time skeletal animation, I won't be, it would be unreasonable to simulate the physics of the soft body, so it will be just stretching between the two, and if the legs will be very open or something, then it would look weird if it would be still hanging a lot. So, it will probably look weird anyway. I don't know, maybe I'll be adding like an extra bone that will be connecting between the two legs. That will be pretty cheap and looking cool, so maybe I would do that. So yeah, this right here, and let's let it blend in, feel like at home, by adding a bit more of these bald connections like that. Okay, let's do more of that crazy stuff, since it was that easy, with a lot of the fixes afterwards, but Shift B, back to sculpt, smooth out. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. I was so focused on the idea of like, I can't like easily blend in a specific shape without thinking about the fact that I don't need a shape. I need a connection between 2 points that doesn't necessarily have to require an actual new shape. Oh, that's looking cool. Wait, can I easily make a hole the same way? I can, right? I mean, like, selecting this and like this and bridge. Oh, that is so cool. Dude, why aren't we talking about this all the time? That is awesome. I mean, blending in a shape using Sculpt like a shape brushes and ZBrush and that quick magic I did in ShapeLab, that stuff lets you do a bit more precise stuff. Like you can, for instance, cut out a perfect cube. So that could be useful if you're doing something hard surface, to cut out like a sharp step out of something. So that's a bit different. But I'm doing organic stuff now, and in here it's really about just, you know, changing the topology, introducing a hole where there was no actual hole before. But I mean, say I want to add like a cube. So I need these precise, sharp angles and all. And whatever, I want to add it so it would stick out in here. So I just Control-J join them, go into edit mode. So I'll probably like add a loop, put it right here, delete the rest. Now I simply select a bunch of polygons under the cube that I want to blend into. Also deselect this. Like, let's just select this loop. So this is selected now. And Shift B. Right? It's not looking too glorious because literally the cube has only 4 vertices to connect to, but it's a solid connected surface. So now I can turn on that DIN topo and have everything done just like that. Nice, nice. Okay, so like this, and we blur. And boom, we have a cube blended right into the shape that I've made an insane amount of actions on, so it will be really hard for me to undo this stuff. But isn't that freaking brilliant? Like there's some kind of cube device under its skin. Awesome! Okay, seriously, we need to remove this now. Again, in edit mode, right? So yeah, something like this, I would just delete, select everything, and hit just F. Yeah, now we just have this hole covered. Back to sculpt mode. I think it's actually easier to first smooth it out like this when there's a very small amount of polygons, so it will really stretch it out nicely, completely removing the bump. Yeah, there we go. Boy, is this a big day for your friend Boro. Like really, this is pretty powerful stuff, like the fact that you can just do anything you want with the topology, because actually going to the edit mode and doing stuff is that easy. I never actually realized how powerful the bridge command is. I don't think it's even present in here. There is no like bridge tool. You just gotta know it exists. So you hit F3 and just look up bridge. And here's my Shift B, so you can just right click and define any shortcut you want. Let's add some dynamics, so something's like gonna be stretching here, and then that stuff, instead of being like 2 parallel lines, which is lame, let's actually use this guy to actually rotate this piece. So it will be like continuing that stretch over here. Oh my god, I'm so sick of turning on DIN topo over and over again. Can it just stay on, please? Like, maybe it's for the best. Having it turned off when you need it on is no damage, but having it on when you didn't realize, maybe a lot of damage. That will completely ruin the topology, UVs, and everything. So yeah, another thing I'm really missing from ShapeLab is like that the smooth brush can never be a DIN topo enabled brush. Like, I think it's at all impossible, right? What the hell is this? Deformation of Laplacian surface. There are two different types of blurring. Since when? So here's the default one, and here's the a lot of settings on it. Oh, it doesn't affect much. Is it like a relaxed topology kind of thing? Iterations, shape preservation, per vertex displacement. Shape preservation, let's put it lower. And iterations, I know, is it gonna be slow? Oh, it's like, it's still barely noticeable. It's not noticeable at all. Maybe this is not good. Yeah, that was not good. Per vertex displacement, and that's it. But it's literally doing more displacement when it's at 0, so I don't know. Okay, shape preservation 0. Well, now it's a blur. It might be blurring a bit differently. I may be liking it, but it may be just because it's a new thing. But it's definitely blurring differently. It's more like it's putting it underneath some kind of cover, not just smoothing out everything. Kind of different. It's like more of a affecting concave shapes than convex shapes, right? It's pretty cool. And the fact that you can control, like, don't really push like the actual shape around, just smooth the smaller scale details, even though the brush is big, even though the topology is low, maybe, right? That's kind of cool. Okay, I'm gonna keep it. I wonder if I'll like it. But still, no Dentopo mode. That's literally, the thing is, when you have like a very low poly shape in here, and you go ahead and just remesh it, you get this. A lot of giant former polygons represented by a lot of tiny polygons. And then you need to go in and blur that out. And it will be hard to do because it's now a very dense topology. But yeah, why not just let me, like, there's something sharp or low poly, so it looks choppy, and I want to make it smooth. Why not make adding more topology a part of it? Because isn't that the best way to make something smooth? I guess it just doesn't have it in its algorithms. Anyway, let's, I think I'm generally satisfied with the amount of streaks of egg white. Let's push our egg yolk around these shapes. Yeah, I have some hidden tip in here. Oh yeah, why not make this egg yolk extra goopy comparing to the others? Because it's like on the ground, or not because it's on the ground because it's very massive and it can't go too high up. Kinda makes sense, right? Totally makes sense. Everything makes sense in these designs. Oh, that's looking nice. I noticed using snake hook with low strength. Usually not something you would do because like, oh, I can't pull an actual horn with it, right? But if you're just shaping things up right now, I need to stretch these guys out. And unlike the grab tool, snake hook actually uses Dentopo, so I'm adding new topology as I'm dragging things out. It's definitely much more useful to get a nice spike there. But yeah, when it's 100% strong, it's so easy to like accidentally like rotate and everything. It's like too crazy. And with low settings, pretty good, very precise tool to do stuff like this. Oh, so you can make the smooth tool very strong. You just do it in the overall strength. You can make it like 3. But yeah, I can see this mode is really good at removing like concave stuff, but generally thinning down an object is not really a thing, which is kind of cool because generally it's not what smooth brush is supposed to do. Like, it's doing it a little bit, but not for the strength of 3. You know, if I would switch to Laplacian, it's like immediately eating away all the volume. And I like grew accustomed taking advantage of that and making my spikes more spiky using blur. But generally a smooth brush is better be just smoothing, right? Without the fear of completely destroying your spike horn, whatever it would be. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, if I just switch to this surface mode, I'm so much more effective at actually removing details with this smooth instead of ruining the volume. Remind me again, why do we have this pinch brush? Well, Inflate specifically does this, but Inflate causes these artifacts that you then just need to smooth out, and Pinch never causes that. Oh yeah, and inflating with Pinch, like negative pinch, is also a bit of a weird way of inflating. So it is a very different algorithm there. Nice. Very nice. Okay, let's detail the hands a bit and maybe move along the seams in here. So each neonate's egg white has this like the outer skin surface and then the inner like more of an open flesh kind of surface. And on this guy, it's literally like splitting the hands into halves like this. But it's getting like a bit vague at certain point, like where is that edge everywhere? It's like going in here along this finger. Yeah, I should probably push this seam like in between the index and the middle finger and just chop off the half of the hand like this. This would be a more of an interesting split than having a very weird shape on the thumb and everything. Oh yeah, this will look interesting. Having like a split, these fingers will be like more red orange-ish. So cool, I can now much easier smooth out the fingers without being afraid that they will lose their volume completely. Okay, I went through all of the stuff in here, added some cushion details. I don't know, maybe a bit stronger, more intense wrinkles on these like elbow knees areas. So it would look good when it all bends and stuff. And yeah, with symmetry I just wanted to add the same, well not the same, I mean just the folding wrinkles on the fingers to also kind of define where they're supposed to bend anyway. Oh yeah, that's immediately making it look like actual fingers. Before that it was just some kind of balloons. Like I, of course, don't want to define them too much because they're supposed to look kind of goopy. Now let's maybe add some kind of masses on the skin part of the egg white. So in here, these streaks should continue into something, just like on the head of our very first neonate. He had this kind of stuff going on, so why not continue this shape language? Okay, now I think I need to add a little bit more cool details on the egg yolk. Alright, I think this is it. Looking pretty cool. I went through the seams as well and added some kind of like wound details a little bit here and there with various presence of it, so it wouldn't look like it's intentional but just like a torn something. Oh yeah, maybe on this side of the egg yolk a little bit of the random blobs and details, like some kind of knots, because it's like too smooth in here, like Nutella look. Honestly, this can be done like with textures, but I think sculpting it is a bit more pleasant experience. Nice. I mean, looking hot when it's all black. Better than when it was black with the yellow egg yolk. But like, still no, I don't want to have them black. So yeah, I can just define a basic color here by adding these vertex colors. There we go, ready to be textured and whatnot. So yeah, hope you guys like the result. And this was quite a day with discoveries about moving the origin. Like I actually got to give it a try, I only watched a video about this advice before. But yeah, it was cool to do it. And yeah, this whole thing with adding any hole or connection between two surfaces, creating new holes topology by just selecting two spots of polygons and hitting Shift B to bridge them. That's really cool. And yeah, we even tried adding like a cube and blending it in using that bridge approach as well. That's awesome. Like the fact that you can like it's actually quick to do it, pretty quick. So that's awesome, especially just adding a connection. You don't even have to introduce any new meshes. And yeah, happy I decided to split the arms this way, same as they are on the back. They split on in the front as well. So this will be like a bit of a different color and will look pretty cool. So yeah, looking forward to the next one, but for now this is it. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! Honestly, I feel like for vertex coloring them, to just bring them all into Shape Lab, because that's where you can add like roughness and everything. I think it would be a pretty dope way to introduce that into the pipeline.